We are now back on the first paper from IGCSE in 2024, and we now are on question 19. So we've got to find out what x is, I suspect. So the easiest way I can see of doing this is we're going to find out what BD is. So we're going to start looking at BDC, that's this triangle, and we're going to mark in that this one here is little a, or let's call that little d. This side here is little c, and this side here is little b. And we know, using something called the sine rule, that the sine, so d, which is 12 so let's say d over sine of d equals little c over sine of big C. So therefore we just fill in the blanks, and we get little d is 12.8 meters over sine of 40, and that equals little c, which we don't know, over sine of 62. Now we're just going to rearrange this. So we do 12.8 times sine of 62 over sine of 40. And that will tell us what this one is, like what C is. So you need a calculator for this, because you can't do this in your head, can you? 12.8 sine, there is 62, equals, and then we'll just divide that by sine 40 equals, so according to this, C equals 17.5823, etc. So let's just fill that in here. Oops-a-daisy. So we know that 17, oops-a-daisy. Oh, it's back. That's all working again. 17.5823, etc. Now we're going to have to mark up the other side. So this, in this case, we have ABC. So let's make this little a. This is D, little d, but we'll call this little c. We'll call this little b. Because we're going to have to use the cos rule for the second bit, which is slightly annoying. So the cos rule is little a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Unfortunately, we know everything except for cos a. So we would say 17.5823, etc. squared equals 13.4 squared plus 15.22 squared minus 2 times 13.4 times 15.2 cos a. So let's just, okay, I'm going to take those away, so I'm going to go 70. I'm actually just going to do some of the maths. So let's times answer equals, so we've got 309.1397 equals, I hate doing this, by the way, I find it really irritating, 13.4 squared plus 15.2 squared equals, so that's 410.6, and then I'm just going to do all the maths for that, or rather the arithmetic for that. So 2 times 13.4 times 15.2 equals 407.36 cos a. Right, now we're going to take this off that side, so 309.1397 minus 410 101.6 equals minus 101.4603 equals minus 407.36 cos A. So now if we divide this by this, minus 407.36 equals, oh no, yeah, that's right. So cos A, 0.2490 whatever, equals cos A. So we're just going to use the minus cos thing for this. So we go shift cos, and then we literally just put the answer in, and then we hope we get a normal looking number. Yay! That means x equals 75.6. I really hate that many numbers. I just find it irritating. So the diagram shows OABC of circle centre O. Okay. And the area of the shaded segment of ABC is 38 centimetres squared. Okay, work out the perimeter of the shaded segment ABC and give your answer correct to one decimal place. Weirdly, I did this about 2 days ago. Okay, so we know, what do we know? We know the angle of AOC is 60, and we know the area of the shaded segment is that. So work out the perimeter of the shaded segment. So we know that, oh, we don't know what R is. That's our main problem. So we know that the segment would equal 60 over 360 times pi r squared. And then this would all be minus whatever this is. So, oh God, that's actually quite hard. Now I'm assuming that's 60. Could that be something else on the bottom? Those two are going to have to be equal. So it's an equilateral triangle. So that means minus r times, and then if you've got r on the bottom, here we go, this will be interesting. That's half r, or r over 2. It's r on the side, with caution. So r squared minus r squared over 4 equals, it's basically a quarter of r squared, so that would be 3 r squared over 4. And it's the root, it's the square root. So it would be root 3 over 2 r. So r times root 3 over 2 r that's the area of AOC. This is great. Equals 38. So that is 1/6 pi r squared minus, that's r squared, that's root 3 over 2 equals 38. So I suppose you can use this. Oh, I did it on another type of paper. So let's just see what we get. But I don't think this is going to be very nice to find r. There we go. So that will be 1/6 times pi minus root 3. Let's put that root 3. Where's the root gone? Oh, there is. Root 3 over 2 equals Ooh, that seems highly unlikely. In fact, if we look at this, we get that and we get that. So we know that 38 divided by pi over 6 minus root 3 over 4 equals r squared. I think, there we go. So let's just do this, which is going to be a delight, I can tell. So it's going to be 38 over, and that's going to be pi over 6 minus, and that's root 3 over 4 equals, that's 419, so r squared equals 419490. So let's square root that to get r. So we'll just that answer equals, so that's 20.48. So r equals 20.481. Right, what am I trying to find? Ah, the perimeter of the shaded segment. Okay, here we go. So that means, I'm not even sure whether I needed to get that done. So now we know that the r equals 20.481, etc. So we now can find, oh, this is easy. So to find the circumference, or at least to find A to C around there through B, we will get 20.481 times 2 equals 40. So it's going to be 40.9629, which is D pi times pi. And then that will be times 1/6. And that will give us this bit there. And so let's times that by 1/6. And then let's times that by pi equals, so that's 21.4481. Now I think that this is also r. So if we add 20.48 to that, we're going to get plus 20.48 equals 41.9. There you go. So that's 41.9. That was a clear case of me thinking, gosh, this seems a lot more complicated than it actually should be. Now,